Americans, I'm Shen, Republican representative from Wisconsin and chair of the House Climate Committee. I'm here today in front of the wall of change to emphasize to you all how important it is that we need to do something to change the trajectory that we're on regarding climate change. Before I get into the details, I wanted to start with a quick message from former Secretary of Energy Steve Chu endorsing our climate plan.
I'm Steve Chu. I'm the former U.S. Secretary of Energy, now a professor at Stanford, and I'm very much in favor of Valerie Shen's thrust for a carbon tax. Details yet to be determined, but I do really support a carbon tax.
Thank you all for listening to that. Now, I'd like to get into some of the specifics about the policies that we are proposing. On climate specifically, the idea is that we will have a $45 per ton carbon tax. Now, why is this the right idea? Well, a carbon tax is the best way to ensure that we are only emitting the amount of carbon that's appropriate for our atmosphere. We already know that anthropogenic climate change is really hurting our environment and hurting the ability for us to use our planet in future generations. Now, if we have the correct price on carbon, we will incentivize all of those industries that are emitting unnecessarily and emitting in a way that hurts our environment and economy to stop doing so and to rein back their emissions. However, we can't have a price that's so high because that would make sure that even the industries who need to beneficially continue emitting would not be able to do so, really hurting our economy. Next, we think it's really important that as a country, we don't go back to re-signing the Paris Agreement. And this is because the United States should act autonomously and should try to incentivize actions from other nations such as China and India through sanctions and tariffs. Finally, when we think about the revenue allocation for all of the money that we're going to generate from this carbon tax, we want to highlight that the vast majority of this should be used for tax relief and for debt reduction. Now, tax relief is really important because people are going to be paying higher taxes because we all use products in our society that emit carbon. However, we want to make sure that the average Americans are able to continue living a prosperous life. And we'll do this by giving some of the money that's generated through the carbon tax back to the American people through tax cuts for workers and tax relief for capital, so that your tax rates that you're currently paying can actually go down instead of up. Additionally, we want to allocate a substantial amount of this money to debt reduction. And the reason that this is crucial is why we are tying the climate bill together with the debt bill. If you look at the debt bill that the Republicans in the House are proposing, you'll see that it's not able to achieve the full goal of 70% debt reduction and 40% debt by 2050 without increasing taxes. But we think that these goals are so important and we don't want to cut entitlement spending more than what's necessary. And therefore, the best solution to combine everything is to raise money through a carbon tax and then use that revenue to reduce the amount that we have to make difficult choices in the rest of the debt bill. So that's why I'm here today to propose that you all, along with your fellow representatives and fellow people of America, are supportive of a bill that taxes carbon, uses the revenue in a productive way, and is able to balance our budget. Thank you.